to Priscilla's Corner. So glad that you're here with me again for another video. And this is a total different topic. We're going to be talking about financial education. And this is my personal opinion. If I had to do it over again, I wish I'd known this information before I turned 67. But of course I did not. Just like I didn't know the parenting, I didn't have the educational background that I needed to be successful as well. But I want to make sure that you have it. I want to make sure that you have a jump on getting ahead financially more than what I did at 67. I'm in a much better place, of course, since that time. But I want you to know that we know that knowledge is power. No matter what you say, nobody can take that away from you. When you're educated on the topics that you need for your life and pass it down to your next generation, nobody can take that away from us. What a gift that is that we can give to one another. Okay, so I'm going to highlight a couple books that I'm presently reading right now. If maybe you like video books, audio books, or you like the hard copies. I tend to like hard copies. I think that has something to tell a lot about my age. So I like the hard copies. Well, I've read several books on financial education, but I've just recently finished a couple books that we're going to highlight in our next videos coming up in the near future. Okay. One is by Dave Ramsey, The Total Money Makeover. And like I said, this is my personal opinion. And when you read these books or you get the audio of these books on Amazon or wherever you plan to get them, you take the grains that you can use and what you can't, you don't need. Okay. So Dave Ramsey is one of the books we're going to highlight. I'm going to take a couple golden nuggets from this book in our next couple videos. So that's number one. Number two is the book I'm presently reading now is The Psychology of Money. And this is by Morgan Housel. Morgan Housel. And that's Psychology of Money. I'm presently reading this one. The last book I want to highlight is The Millionaire Next Door. And this one is by Thomas Stanley. And like I said, you can glean some golden nuggets from all of these books that we're going to be talking about coming up in the near future. And like I said, there are 4 things I wish I would have known before I turned 67. But I did not. So we're going to be highlighting some of those things. So hopefully you can be a step ahead of a lot of us that were born a lot later, let's say, in the 50s and 60s. So there are 4 things I wish I would have known before I turned the age of 67. Number 1, I wish I had a mentor. A mentor and financial education much earlier in life. Number 1, I did not have a mentor. I was in college, I guess, when I graduated at 21. I still didn't know much about financial education. I had one class that I can recall in high school, and that was on how to balance a checkbook and how to write a check. It didn't talk about anything about budgeting, nothing about investments. So I had no clue on how to do any of those things, even after I graduated from college. So hopefully you'll have those skills way before you cross that line. Okay. So the other thing is, my parents never shared any budgeting with me, or with any of us, as a matter of fact. You know, they paid their bills, they went to work, they did the things they had to do, but nobody sat you down and taught you how to budget early. And I like to challenge parents today, sit your children down as early as they possibly can and give them a little allowance maybe. Maybe, you know, this is what I did for my children, just to help them to learn about budgeting and money and how it works. I would give them a little allowance and say, okay, for example, if my daughter was 5 years old, she got $5. She had to put 10% in her savings, which was going to go towards a bank account later in the future. And then she would have a percentage that she could save for something she really, really wanted. And then lastly, she could buy something that she wanted right away. Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't lastly. And then lastly, she would put a percentage in church, or she would give to a cause that she was interested in. So there were four categories that I tried to encourage them to focus in. One was saving a percentage. Two was saving for a long-term goal that they had. Number three was going in and buying something right now. Maybe they wanted to go to the little store to buy a little toy. And then lastly, they put a percentage towards something in the community or something at their church that they were going to at the time. So I wanted to give them that information very early on. So that's what we need to start doing with our children, even before they hit teens. We want them to understand where money goes, where it comes from, and how to balance it, how to budget. Okay, we want to give that to them early. The second thing I wish I would have known, I wish I would have started investing early and not buying things that didn't really matter. And I did not start as early as I should have. So one of the things is I wish I would have done was started a high yield savings account. And that's what we want to teach our children too. We want them, and not only that, teaching them, but teaching ourselves to having a high yield savings account that would give us a higher interest on our money, and that our money would be working for us, even though we're not doing anything but keeping the money in that account. And you can get high yield savings account anywhere. You can Google it and find out what are the high yield savings accounts that are out here and get that information and start investing, putting a percentage of your money in there. And one of the things I like doing with that is making that my emergency fund. So I go ahead and put a percentage that come out automatically. I don't have to do anything. It comes right out automatically into my emergency fund. And I don't touch that emergency fund unless it's truly, truly an emergency. And I can't remember if I've taken anything out since I've started the fund. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I haven't touched that fund as of yet. All right. The second thing is I wish I would have set up a brokerage account early. I didn't set up my brokerage account until I was in my 30s. Should have done that 10 years before then and did not. Right now, I do the same thing. I have my brokerage account and it's automatic. I set a percentage that I want to come out and it automatically goes into my brokerage account. So that's something you want to do also. And as the children are getting older, and as well as ourselves, just set up those brokerage accounts as soon as possible. Number 3 in that category is one of the things I have done, and now this is the only thing I have done religiously and consistently, is setting up a Christmas club. I go right in my bank. My bank has categories that you can go ahead and set up an additional savings account. From my checking account, I can move down money or I can have it automatically move down. But I do a manual move down in my Christmas club. And I used to only do $20. And some people think that, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money to save. And please don't misunderstand me. We're in tough times right now and money is very hard to come by. I get that. But I want to encourage you. It would be even harder if you're not prepared and if you don't have some small cushion. And even if it's $5 per pay, $5 is better than no dollars. And if you're getting an interest on top of that $5, that $5 now will turn into $7. And on and on and on it will go. Let's say for your emergency fund, you can only do $10 every pay. Then do $10. Let's say for your Christmas club, you can only do $5 every pay. Then do $5. So far now, that's $15 that you are saving for your future. That's going to help you down the road. And let's say for your brokerage account, let's say you only have $20. Okay, so now you got $20 and that's okay. So now you've got 20, 25, 30. So you're saving $35 that's going into 3 accounts that's going to benefit you in the future so you're not in crisis mode. So I want to encourage you, start early, and encourage your teenagers and your young adults to start early. The last thing I want to talk about is the other thing that I've set up, and this is number 4 category for me. I set up a car maintenance account because I found out that, okay, in my emergency fund, which you can do, you can use the money in the emergency fund for your car maintenance if that's what you want to do, and you only have $35 or $40 to save, to dividing amongst those accounts, then do that. I save a little bit extra in my car maintenance, and I have that in a high yield savings account too. It's a whole different account. It's with Sallie Mae, and Sallie Mae gives me 3.9% on top of what I put in that account. So and I only save, I think I save $57 a month for my car maintenance, primarily for tires, for oil change, for a wheel alignment, those kind of things. They come up, don't they? We don't look for them, but they come up. So you want to prepare yourself for that as well. All right. And then lastly, I wish I would have increased my savings by 1% every year. Every time I got a raise, I should have increased my savings. I did eventually do that, but not early enough. I want to challenge you today. Prepare for your future and help your children to prepare for theirs. Little by little, I set them around, my kids, girls around the table. And we looked at their money, and I got them little piggy banks, and they put, their 10% in their bank. And then right before they were going to college, well, I shouldn't say that. I should say probably when they were 12, we opened up a savings account. And now they were getting more money. And then, of course, they got a part-time job by the time they were 14, 15, 16. So a percentage of that went into their savings account. So by the time they were ready for college or ready to go to a trade school or wanting to buy a car, they already had a percentage of the money already saved. But they also learned some valuable habits. And we want to start those habits as early as possible. So I want to challenge you, hang in there. I know it's a tough time for us right now. But when you can plan just a little bit, it really does make a difference. You don't have as much stress on you because you feel a little bit more prepared than you were yesterday. The other thing I did, and this is and then we're going to wrap this up, that I made the huge mistake. I don't want you to do that. I made a huge mistake in my 30s. I opened up my brokerage account, but guess what? I didn't tell my money where to go. I kept the money in my brokerage account for years. I want to say from the time I was probably 35 to maybe 45, maybe 35 to 45, probably almost 10 years, close to 10 years, I think, I'm not 100% sure. And my money was just sitting there, and I kept wondering, why was, it's not growing as much as I thought it would be growing, and had no clue that I didn't tell the money where to go. I just put it in the account, but didn't tell it where to go. So don't do that. Tell your money where to go so your money can be working hard for you while you're sleeping. Now my money's growing pretty good, but I wish I would have done that. But see, this is where education comes in. I wish I would have done that 10 years prior. Don't make the mistake I made. And lastly, and we're going to wrap this up, I always say something positive at the end of all my videos because that's who I am. One of the things I want for us, I want to challenge each one of us. Let's be the change we want the world to be. If you want the world to have more kindness, let's do that. If you want the people in your life to be more financially secure and more stable, then do that. If you want the community that you live in to be more hospitable to one another, to be more respectful of one another, you start that. Okay? I challenge you today. You start that. You're going to be the change you want the world to be. I challenge you, as well as myself, that we're going to be the change we want the world to be. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I truly appreciate you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate you visiting with me every week. And I want to, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. I thank you so much. But most of all, I thank you for hanging in there and taking one day at a time, one task at a time, and one crisis at a time. So we don't get overwhelmed, we take care of our mental health, and we do one thing at a time. All right? I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you for joining Priscilla's Corner. We'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.